So to get started with the headband, we're gonna do a simple slip knot. So just hold the end of your yarn like this, pull out a loop, insert your hook into the loop right here, and then pull out the second strand of yarn and just tighten it and tighten the yarn on your hook. Now the first thing that you're going to do is chain the width of the headband that you want. So I'm just going to chain around 8. So you just yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through the loop. You continue doing this and you're basically going to be chaining the width of the headband. So how wide you want your headband to be, you have to do those many chains. I just want my headband to be 8 chains wide, that is not too thick, but if you guys want it to be wider or thinner, it's completely up to you. So just once you're done with the chains, put it on your head and check if this is the width you want, or if you want it to be longer or shorter, it's completely up to you. So just put it on your head to check it. Now after I'm done with the 8 chains, I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to do a half double crochet in the second chain. So this is the first chain from the hook that I'm going to skip, and I'm going to do a half double crochet in the second chain. So I yarn over, insert my hook into the second chain, yarn over and pull through, and then I yarn over and pull through all. So this is one half double crochet. So I'm going to continue doing half double crochet till I reach the last chain. So yarn over and I insert my hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through, and yarn over and pull through all. I'm going to continue doing this. So yarn over, insert my hook into the stitch, yarn over and pull through, and yarn over and pull through all. So I'm just going to continue doing this till I reach the last chain. So yarn over, insert my hook into this chain, yarn over and pull through and pull through all. And repeat the same. So as you can see, this is the last chain here. So I'm just going to do another half double crochet in the last chain. And this is how wide my headband is going to be. So if you guys want any adjustments in the size, if you guys want to make it wider or less wide, it's completely up to you. So just make sure to crochet enough chains to reach your desired width for the headband. So once I'm done with the first row, I'm just going to place it on my head to check if I have the correct width. And depending on that, I can make adjustments. So this is the place where you check and make sure you get the size right for the headband. And if you're satisfied, you can continue crocheting more rows. Now the number of rows that you do is going to determine the length of the headband. You should make sure that the length fits your entire head from the start to the end. So after I'm done with the first row, I'm just going to chain 1, turn my work. So I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook into the first stitch, yarn over and pull through all loops. And keep doing this till you reach the end. So just half double crochet in every stitch, and you have to continue crocheting rows till you have enough to completely cover your head with this headband. So here I'm done with the second row. Now you have to continue doing rows like this. So for every new row, you chain 1 and then you start crocheting half double crochets all across, and you continue doing rows like this till you have enough to fit your entire head. And once you're done with a few more rows, say around 10 to 15 more rows, just place it on your head and make sure that your entire head is covered with a headband. We are not going to be crocheting any straps or anything to tie it. We're just going to be using it like a normal stretchy headband. So you can see that this particular, let me just show you. So you can see that even after doing just 2 rows, the headband stretches a little bit. So we're just going to crochet a stretchy headband and not gonna crochet any ties or anything like that. So to know how many rows to crochet, just place the headband on your head and completely take a round of your head with the headband like how you would usually wear it, and make sure one end, that is say this end, reaches the other end. So you have to crochet enough rows to make sure that one end touches the other end once you place it on your head. But make sure to not crochet too many rows, since we don't want the headband to be loose, but just enough for it to be tight. And since the stitches are a little stretchy, you can crochet a row or two less to make sure that it fits your head perfectlikely without falling off, since we don't want it to be too loose. So just continue crocheting enough rows. So I'll meet you once I'm done and I'll tell you guys how many rows I crocheted, and you guys can use that as a reference, but you will have to make adjustments and you cannot follow the exact number of rows that I did, since the size might vary for you. So for now, just continue doing rows of half double crochet like this, and I'll meet you once I'm done. So here I've done a total of 62 rows, and this is how it looks once I'm done. So this is where we're going to stitch it together, and this is going to be a headband. So you have to make sure this fits you. So once you stitch it together, you have to make sure that this size fits you well. And as I told you, it's a little bit stretchy, not too stretchy, but a little bit. So make sure that you don't crochet too many rows, because if it's loose, then it'll just fall off your head. And since it's a little stretchy, I think you can skip a row or two so you get the perfect size for your headband. So I did a total of 62 rows. You can use that as a reference and crochet in 60s. But again, it completely depends on the size that you want for your headband. So now once you're done with the headband, we are going to be crocheting slip stitches all across the borders to make it look a little better. So you can see that these bumps make it look a little uneven. So we're just going to continue crocheting slip stitches all across the borders. So that is this side, this, as well as this side. And it's completely up to you on what color you want to use. You can either use the same color or you can use a different color. So I'm going to be using this color for the border as well as the hearts that I'm going to be crocheting. I'll show you how to do that as well, but first we are going to get started with the borders. So for the slip stitches, you're going to insert your hook into one corner of the headband. Hold your yarn like this and just pull. So when you're doing the slip stitches, you have to make sure that you do them on the top itself. So you see the space right here. I'm going to insert my hook, pull up a loop, and then pull it through the loop on my hook. So this is how you do a slip stitch. Next, I'm going to be doing it in this space right here. So in the starting, it can be a little hard to choose in what spaces or in what loops you're going to do the slip stitches in. But once you get the hang of it, it becomes easier. So I insert my hook into the next loop right here, and I just pull the yarn and then pull it like this. So I'm just going to continue doing this. And one little tip that I can give you guys as to which stitch or which loop you can choose is just make sure to choose the loops on the top. So you see this loop right here, and then there is this loop, and there is this loop. So just continue choosing the loops on the top and make sure the gap between your two slip stitches is not too much. The gap should be as much as it would be for a normal stitch. So just make sure to choose the loops as close as you can, and make sure to choose the top ones as well, like these loops here. So once you get the hang of it, it becomes easier. But just choose the top loops for the entire side, and make sure that your slip stitches are not too far apart. So here I'm going to show you how to do a few more. So I'm going to insert my hook into the next loop, pull the yarn and pull it through the loop. So you just insert your hook into the loop, yarn over and pull and pull. So you just continue doing this all across, and you'll get an extremely neat finish for your headband. Just make sure your slip stitches are not too tight. So this is how it looks after I do a few of them. So this is how it looks once I'm done with one side, and now I've reached the corner. So I just have to do two more slip stitches. And once you reach the corner, you just have to continue doing slip stitches like you normally would, but in the corner space. So when you reach the corner, you're just going to chain one. So here, as you can see, I've reached my corner. I chain one, and now I'm going to continue doing slip stitches again. So we chain one to make sure that we have enough room for the corner instead of the stitches kind of being too tight for the headband. So we just chain one to give a little room in the corner. So you can see that this is my chain one, and it kind of acts as the corner for this row of slip stitches that we are doing. And after the chain one that you do, you're just going to continue doing slip stitches all across again. So as you can see, I've reached another corner. Now I'm going to chain one again. After the chain one, I'm going to continue doing slip stitches on this side as well. So you just continue doing them across this side, and I'll meet you once I'm done to show you how it looks. You have to do the chain one and the slip stitch on this side as well, and continue doing this till you reach the end that is over here. And like I mentioned, the color that you guys want to use is completely up to you. I have used a different color, but you can use the same color that you have for your headband as well. And I'll meet you once I'm done. So here I've completed doing slip stitches all across the four sides, and once you reach the end, you're just going to slip stitch in your first slip stitch. So the first slip stitch that you did, you're going to insert your hook into that and do a slip stitch, and you're going to fasten off. So this is how it looks once I'm done. If your work is starting to maybe stiffen up a little or bend a little, it's totally normal. It's totally fine. See, you can see that it's kind of starts stiffening up a little bit. You can just stretch it out and it'll be fine. Just stretch it and it'll start straightening up just fine. So to add a little detailing, I'm just gonna crochet small hearts like this and stitch them over here. So I'm going to show you how to crochet this mini heart. It's actually really small. So you can see that it's extremely small. And we're just going to stitch them up here. And you can do as many as you want depending on the length of your headband and also the width. So if you have made a wider headband, maybe you can fit two in also, but since my width is comparatively smaller, but I'll just be adding one over here, and then I'm going to continue adding one here at equal distances, and I'll show you how to crochet this small heart now. So just grab the yarn of your choice, and we're going to start with a magic circle. So just hold the end of your yarn like this, make a X like this, insert your hook, pull up a loop, and just keep it there. We do not tighten it or loosen it. Just hold it there and chain two. Now all the stitches that we are going to do after this, you're going to be crocheting them in the circle right here or the ring. So first we are going to do two double crochets. So yarn over, insert the hook into the ring, yarn over and pull through, then yarn over and pull through two loops, yarn over and pull through two loops. This is one double crochet, and then after one double crochet, I'm going to yarn over again and do another double crochet. So insert the hook into the ring, yarn over and pull through two loops, pull through two loops. After two double crochets, we are going to do two half double crochets in the ring. So for the half double crochet, yarn over, insert your hook into the ring, yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all. Yarn over and yarn over and insert your hook into the ring and pull through all. So here I'm done with two half double crochets as well. Now I'm going to do one double crochet. So yarn over and one double crochet. Then I'm going to do two half double crochets again. So for a half double crochet, yarn over, insert your hook into the ring, yarn over and pull through all. After the two half double crochets, I'm going to do two double crochets again. So yarn over, insert your hook into the ring, pull through two and pull through two. After the two double crochets, we are going to chain two and do a slip stitch into the ring. So I just insert my hook into the ring, pull up a loop and pull this loop over the loop on my hook. So let me just show that again. We are going to do a slip stitch in the ring. So I insert my hook into the ring, pull up a loop, and then I pull this loop over the loop on my hook. That's it. And then we tighten it with the other end. Just tighten it off and fasten off. So this is how it looks in the end after you're done with the heart. Just crochet as many as you need and stitch them up here. So depending on the length of your headband and how many hearts you want, it's completely up to you. So just crochet those hearts, and now I'll show you how to stitch them up. So just grab a needle and attach your yarn onto the needle. So once you're done attaching your yarn to the needle, I'm just going to place the heart where I want it to be, like this. And from the top on the center of the heart, like this, I'm just going to insert my needle and put. Make sure you have left enough to weave in the ends once you're done. Now I'm going to bring up my needle on this particular point right here, and then I'm going to attach this top of the heart like this and just pull. Then I'm going to insert it on the next stitch and pull it like this, and you continue doing this all across all the stitches. So just do this on every stitch, and once you're done, you will reach this top here, and then you can just weave in the ends and follow the same for every heart that you want to stitch on for this particular headband. So just continue stitching it like this. Make sure your heart is straight and in the right place when you're stitching it, so that later on you don't have to take it all out and do it again. And these ends we are going to weave in the end once we are done. But for now, just continue stitching, and I'll show you how it looks like once I'm done. So here I have attached one heart, and I am probably planning to attach two on this side and two on this side rather than completely in the center. So I'll just show you how to attach the headband together like this, and you can attach as many hearts as you want. It completely depends on you. So once you're done attaching the hearts, just hold the two ends of your headband like this. So here, since the slip stitches, I have done it with this red color. I'm going to be using red color to attach the sides together as well. So just grab your needle and the yarn and just attach the yarn to your needle. Then just hold up two ends, both the ends of your headband that is. And you're just going to insert them one through one corner of one side and the other corner and pull. So you're just going to continue doing this all across this particular side only. And once you're done, you will have a headband. So just hold it like this and make sure to align the stitches well. Insert it through both the sides and pull. And you keep doing this all across. So now we're going to crochet the bow clip. So you can just attach this bow on any clip that you have. So to get started, so we're going to do a slip knot. And this is how I do mine. And you're going to chain just two. So yarn over and pull through and yarn over and pull through. Once you're done with the two chains, we are going to be doing two double crochets in the first stitch that we did. So you skip this stitch right here, yarn over, and in the first chain that we did, we are going to insert our hook, pull up a loop, and do one double crochet. So let me just show that again. After your chain two, we are going to skip the first stitch from the hook, and we are going to do a double crochet in the second stitch. So it's basically the first chain that we crocheted. In that chain, we are going to do a double crochet increase. So that's one double crochet. Now in the same stitch, I'm going to do another double crochet. So now you can see that you have two stitches in this row. So I'm going to chain one as the turning chain. This chain does not count as a stitch, it's just a turning chain. Then we yarn over and we do a double crochet increase in both these stitches. So insert your hook into the first stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through two, pull through two. Now in the same stitch, I'm going to insert my hook again and do another double crochet. And in the next stitch, I'm going to do another double crochet increase. So now you can see that we have 4 stitches on our row. Now I'm going to do double crochet increase in the first and the last stitch only. So first I'm going to chain one, that is a turning chain, then yarn over And in the first stitch, I'm going to do a double crochet increase. So that's 2 double crochets in the same stitch. That is the first stitch. Now in the next 2 stitches, I'm just going to do 1 double crochet in each. So in the second stitch, I'm going to do 1 double crochet and another double crochet in the third stitch. And once you're done, in the last stitch, I'm going to do a double crochet increase. So this is basically the pattern that we are going to follow till we reach our desired width. So you can see that this is the width that I started off with, and by doing increases I have reached this width. So now I have 6 stitches on my row, and it's completely up to you if you guys want to increase the width, but this is the width that I want to follow. But I'll show you how to do one more row. So I chain one as the turning chain. The basic idea is that we do increases in the first stitch and the last stitch. So yarn over, insert my hook into the first stitch, and we do a double crochet increase. Then after that we do regular double crochets, that is 1 double crochet in every stitch till we reach the last stitch. And once you reach the last stitch, you're going to do another double crochet increase in the last stitch. So you continue doing this pattern only until you reach the width that you want. So this is the width that I want. So you just basically continue doing rows of double crochet till you reach your desired length. And like how we made a point over here, we are going to make the same point on the other end. So once you're done crocheting the rows that you need for the bow, I'll show you how to do the pointed end on the other side. So like I mentioned, you have to do double crochet increase in the first and the last stitch till you reach your desired width. Once you reach your desired width, you can just continue doing regular double crochets all across the row. And I'll meet you once I'm done with all the rows. So here I'm done with the length for my bow. I did a total of 36 rows. That is excluding the point that we did here. That is the rows that we did for this end. And I have 6 stitches in every row. So that is the width of my row basically. And it's completely up to you. So if you guys want it wider than this or not, it's completely up to you. I have 6 stitches in every row. Now to get the point on the other side, you have to chain 1, turn your work, and we are going to be doing decreases in the first 2 stitches and in the last 2. So for a decrease, you yarn over, insert your hook into the first stitch, yarn over and pull through, and then you insert your hook into the next stitch, you yarn over and pull through, then you yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So this is one decrease. You basically have to do this decrease in the first 2 stitches and in the last 2. And in between, you can just do regular double crochets. So let me just show that again. After your chain 1, you yarn over, and then you insert your hook into the first stitch and pull up a loop. And then you insert your hook into the next stitch again and pull up a loop. And then you yarn over and pull through 2 loops and yarn over and pull through the other 3 loops. And then you do regular double crochets till you reach the last 2 stitches. So you can follow the same pattern no matter how many stitches you have done. Now in the last 2 stitches, I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook into the first stitch and pull through. Then I'm going to insert my hook into the last stitch and pull through, and then pull through 2 loops and pull through 3. Chain 1 as the turning chain. Now you can see that we have 4 stitches on our row. Now I'm going to be doing 2 decreases. And since we have only 4 stitches, it's going to be 1 decrease in the first 2 stitches and another one in the next 2. So I yarn over, insert my hook into the first stitch and pull up a loop, and then insert my hook into the next stitch and pull up a loop, and then I pull through 2 loops and pull through 2 loops. And then I repeat this in the next 2 stitches as well. Now you can see that we have gotten the point here. So we are just going to fasten off, and this is how it looks in the end. So we have one point over here at this end and another one at this end. Now for this bow, instead of tying it like how we usually do, I'm actually going to show you guys how to stitch together this part so you can get a perfect bow and you can stick this bow onto your clip. So first fold it into half exactly like this. Make sure your points align in the end like this. and this is how it should look. And once you're done folding it into half, you fold it into half again like this. Make sure that there's no bend like this and stretch it out properly. And this is how it looks. Now you're going to grab two stitch markers and you're basically going to be placing these stitch markers over here. So as you can see, this is the end, but there is one side where we have all of them together. So I'm going to place a stitch marker through both these flaps like this and place it there. Do the same on the other side as well. So just place your stitch marker on the folding of the other side as well. And then we are going to stitch this row together. So you can see that both these stitch markers are on this particular row. So just grab your needle and we are basically going to be stitching this row together. So just take out one of your stitch markers, insert your hook into that row and pull. And then just make sure that you stitch the same row together. So this is how it's going to be. You just basically have to stitch that particular row together. Make sure you go through both the flaps like this since it's already folded into half. And I've reached the other end, so I'm going to take out the stitch marker. And this is how it looks once you're done. So just weave in the ends. As you can see, I've stitched this row together. Now you basically place these two ends like this and you split this also exactly like this, and we are just going to tie this together. So just grab a strand of yarn and place it on the center like this, and you're just going to tighten it together like this. Make sure to squeeze it a little since we need the shape of the bow. So squeeze it well. Just tie a knot on the other end like this. So this is how our bow looks. And you can see that it's very well shaped and we don't have to keep adjusting it again and again. So just make sure that your knot is tight. And to make it look a little better, just grab the same color of yarn and chain maybe 7 to 8 chains. Just regular chains, nothing different. And just do a few chains. And once you're done, just fasten off. So the set of chains that I crocheted, I'm just going to tie them in the end like this at the back. And I'm going to leave enough space for me to weave it in. Make sure you tie it extremely tight since we need the shape of the bow to be formed. And this is how it looks in the end. Now I'm just going to use this regular slider clip and I want my bow on this clip. If you don't want to glue gun it or if you don't want to stick it in, and if you're using a slider clip like me, you can just very easily hold it like this and slide this into the chains that we did. And that's it, you're done. So then you can use this as your clip on your hair and it looks extremely cute as well. You can crochet it a little smaller or a little bigger, it's completely up to you. And just weave in the ends, and this is how it looks once you're done. You can just place the clip on your hair in the back and it looks extremely cute as well. So for the headscarf, I'm using a white acrylic yarn and it's a comparatively thinner yarn since I want the headscarf to be a little flowy and not too stiff. So if you guys want your headscarf to be a little flowy and not too stiff like me, use a thinner yarn. But if you want it to be a little stiff, then you can use a comparatively thicker yarn type. So we're going to start off with a magic ring. So just hold the end of your yarn like this, pull up and make a X, grab your hook, pull onto the second strand of yarn and just hold it there. And we are going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. After the chain 3, I'm going to do 2 double crochets into the ring. So I yarn over, insert my hook into the ring, yarn over and pull through 2 loops and pull through 2 loops. I'm going to repeat this one more time. So I yarn over, insert my hook into the ring, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, pull through 2 loops. After you're done with this, I'm going to chain 1, yarn over, and then I'm going to do 3 double crochets. So we're going to repeat the same, but we're going to do 3 double crochets. Now once you're done, we are going to grab the shorter end and pull. So this is how it looks. This is basically a half granny square. So if we were doing a granny square, we would continue doing the same pattern 2 more times, but we did it only 2 times since we just want half of the granny square. And you can see that there's a small triangle shape over here. So we're just going to be continuing by building this triangle shape. So we're going to chain 3, turn your work, yarn over, and in the first stitch over here, you're going to do 2 double crochets. So 1 double crochet, yarn over, and then I insert my hook into the same stitch and I do another double crochet. And once you're done with this, in the next space, that is this space right here, I'm going to do 3 double crochets, chain 1, and then 3 double crochets again. So in the same space, I'm going to do 3 double crochets. So this is the 3 double crochets. Then I'm going to chain 1, and in the same space, I'm going to do 3 more double crochets. That's 1, 2, and 3. Now once you're done with the 3 double crochets, I'm going to do 3 more double crochets but in the last stitch. So you can see this last stitch right here. In this stitch, I'm going to do 3 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, and 3. So this is basically the pattern that you have to follow. You can see that the triangle is building up a little bit. So in the first stitch, you do 3 double crochets. In every space, you do 3 double crochets. But in the corner stitch right here, you do a cluster. That is 3 double crochets, chain 1, and 3 double crochets. So let me show you again. For the next round, we're going to chain 3, yarn over, and in the first stitch, I'm going to do 2 double crochets. The chain 3 that we do for every row counts as 1 double crochet, which is why instead of doing 3 double crochets in this stitch, I'm just doing 2. Now once I'm done with this, you can see that this is my corner, or this is the point of the triangle. But I have one space here, so I cannot directly crochet into this point. So in this space, I'm just going to do 3 double crochets. 1. Then after the 3 double crochets in that space, so this right here you can see is the top corner or the point of the triangle. So in this space, we are going to be doing the cluster, that is 3 double crochets, 3, then chain 1 and 3 double crochets all in the same place. We call these set of stitches a cluster. And then once you're done with this, you can see that we have space over here. So in this space, we are going to do 3 double crochets again. So just yarn over and we do 3 double crochets. And we do 3 double crochets in the last stitch again. So this is basically the pattern that you have to follow. You can see that the shape of the triangle is increasing with every row. So you chain 3 and do 2 double crochets in the first stitch. Then you do 3 double crochets in every space, that is this space and this space right here. And at the point, you do the cluster, that is 3 double crochets, chain 1 and 3 double crochets. And in these two spaces, we'll be doing 3 double crochets again, and we do 3 double crochets in the last stitch. So I'll show you guys how to do one more row, and then after that you can just continue the same pattern, and then you can continue doing these rows until you reach your desired size for the headscarf. So once I'm done with the chain 3, I'm gonna yarn over, turn my work, and do 2 double crochets. That's 2. And then in this space, so you can see that I did the 2 double crochets over here. And like I mentioned, the chain 3 counts as 1 double crochet. And in this space, I'm going to do 3 double crochets again. And I'm going to do another 3 double crochets in this space. Then in this point right here, I'm going to do the cluster, that is 3 double crochets, chain 1 and 3 double crochets. And then in these 2 spaces, I'm going to do 3 double crochets again. And then in the last stitch, we are going to do 3 double crochets again. So this is basically the pattern that you have to follow. You can see that the shape of the triangle is building. So the only difference in every row is the number of times you have to do regular 3 double crochets without the cluster. And in every row, no matter how many rows you do, in every row, you have to do the cluster only one time, that is at this corner right here. The top corner of the triangle. And no matter how many rows you do, only one time you have to do the cluster stitches, that is the 3 double crochet, chain 1 and 3 double crochet. That is at this top corner of the triangle. Everywhere else you do only 3 double crochets. So 3 double crochets in the first stitch, then in every space till you reach the point or till you reach the top. And in the top you do a cluster and then you do 3 double crochets in every point again, and in the last stitch as well. So this is the basic idea of the pattern, and you can build as many rows as you wish depending on the size that you want for your headscarf. And I'll meet you once I'm done to show you how to do the tulip. So here I'm done with 14 rows for the headscarf, and now we're going to start crocheting the tulips. So like I mentioned before, for every row you just have to chain 3, that counts as a double crochet, and then you do 2 double crochets. And then in the spaces from this point to the corner, that is the top of the triangle, you continue doing 3 double crochets in every space. And in the top you do a cluster, that is 3 double crochets, chain 1 and 3 double crochets, and you repeat it downwards. So it is the same pattern that you have to follow. The only thing is that with every row, the number of 3 double crochets that you have to do increases, and you can do as many rows as you wish. So here I did a total of 14 rows, and now I'm going to get started with the tulips. So for the tulips, we are first going to make the green branches, the green leaves for the tulip. So here in the last stitch of the white, I have done 2 double crochets and I have to do 1 more double crochet. And I don't complete the double crochet. I have 2 loops on my hook, and I'm going to grab my green yarn, place it on the hook like this, and just pull through. And now I'm going to chain 3 with the green yarn. That's 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to turn my work. So once you're done with this, we are going to yarn over and the 3 double crochets that we did over here. So as you can see, we have 1 and we have 2 over here and the third one. So in the center of the 3, that is the second double crochet, in that stitch we are going to insert our hook and do 1 double crochet, and then we are going to chain 2, yarn over and do another double crochet in the same stitch. So this is basically the pattern that you have to follow for this V. So as you can see, we have a V shape here. So you basically skip these 2 spaces. You don't do any stitches in these 2 spaces. But in the second stitch of the 3 double crochets, that is a center stitch, we do 1 double crochet, chain 2 and another double crochet in the same stitch. So as you can see, this is the first stitch and here is the second one. So I'm going to insert my hook and do 1 double crochet. Then I'm going to chain 2, yarn over and do another double crochet in the same stitch. So as you can see, we are getting the V shape. And like I mentioned, you don't do anything in these spaces. You crochet these set of stitches in the center double crochet or the second double crochet. So after this, I'm going to yarn over. I don't do anything in this space. I don't do anything in this stitch. In the second stitch, I do 1 double crochet, chain 2, and another double crochet in the same stitch. So this is the pattern that you have to follow for this entire row, and as you can see, we are getting a V shape and we are going to be crocheting the tulip in these spaces. So I'll show you how to do that as well, but for now just continue doing the V shape all across this row and I'll meet you once I'm done. So here when you reach the corner or the top of your headscarf, you're just going to do one in the center stitch or the second stitch of this particular side. So I do one double crochet here, I chain two, and I do another double crochet. So once you're done with this side, you just yarn over and insert the hook into the second stitch of the other side, and you chain two, and then you do the same thing again. That is a double crochet in the same stitch. So now as you can see, we have two V's, that is one here and another one here. Now after this, you're going to continue all along this side normally. So here I'm almost done with this, and in the last stitch, I'm just going to do one double crochet, but I'm not going to complete it. I'm going to be completing it with the color that I want for my tulips. So I'll be using this yarn for that. So just like how we did for the green yarn, we're going to keep it like this and pull through. And now we're going to chain three with this color and turn our work. So once you're done with the chain three and you turn your work, we're basically going to be crocheting in this space right here. So the V that we made in this space is where we are going to crochet. We do the same for every leaf that is in the chain two space. We are going to be crocheting. So I yarn over, insert my hook into that chain two space, yarn over and pull through and do one double crochet. So in this space, we are going to do a total of 4 double crochets. So now I'm done with the 4 double crochets. I'm just going to loosen this up a little bit, insert my hook into the first stitch right here, and then insert my hook through this yarn and do a slip stitch like this. So this is how it looks. Let me show how to do that again. So once you're done with the chain three, we are going to do 4 double crochets in this space. The chain two space that we have, in that space, we are going to do 4 double crochets. So that's one. And once you're done with the 4 double crochets, we are just going to loosen this up a little bit and insert our hook into the first double crochet. So this is the first double crochet that we did. And in that stitch, I'm going to insert my hook and then insert my hook into this part that we have left loose from our last stitch that we did, tighten it and do a slip stitch. So I'm just going to finish it, leave it like this. So I'm just going to leave the yarn like this and insert my hook into the first stitch, that is the first double crochet that I did. In that, the first stitch, I'm going to insert it and then insert it into the last stitch, the loop that I left loose, tighten it, and then I'm just going to do a slip stitch. So I'm just going to pull this loop through this stitch like this. So, and then you just adjust it a little bit. And now for the next one, I'm just going to chain two. So one and two. And once I'm done with the chain two, I'm going to do 4 double crochets in the next space. You do not do the double crochets in this space, but in this space. So you remember that we did 2 double crochets in the same stitch for the leaf. In the chain two space of that is where we are crocheting the tulips. So I yarn over, insert my hook into that space and one double crochet, and then I do 2 double crochets, and then I do a total of 4 double crochets. That's 3 and 4. And once I'm done with 4 double crochets, I'm just going to leave this loose like this, insert my hook into the first, so this is the first double crochet, and I'm going to insert my hook into that stitch and then insert my hook into the loop that I left loose in, of my last double crochet, and just pull this loop through here. So as you can see, this is how it looks, and I just have to continue doing this all across in every chain two space. So I do one in this space and then in this space, this, and I do the same all across. So this is how it looks in the end, and you're just going to continue crocheting this all across, and once you're done with the tulip, remember to chain two. And then you continue doing this all across, and I'll meet you once I'm done. Here I'm done with my last flower, and then this chain 3 space I'm just going to do another double crochet, but I'm not going to complete it, and I'm going to be attaching the white yarn for the borders. So just hold on to your yarn like this, just like how we did before, and pull through. Now once you're done, you're going to chain 3. After the chain 3, just turn around your work, and you're going to do 3 double crochets in every chain 2 space. So after every tulip we did a chain 2 space, so I'm going to do 3 double crochets in all those spaces. In the first space I'm going to do only 2 double crochets, since we already did a chain 3 that counts as a double crochet, and I'm going to continue doing 3 double crochets in all the spaces, like how we normally did for our previous rows. And I'm just going to do one row of this, and we are done after that. And I'll show you how to make the ties for the headscarf. So just continue doing 3 double crochets in every space. So as you can see, I've reached the top here, that is the corner space of our headscarf. And you have to remember that in this space you have to do a cluster, that is 3 double crochets and chain 1 and 3 double crochets again. So that is how you get the shape of the headscarf right at the end as well. So this is how it looks, and you just continue doing this all across, and I'll show you how to make the ties once I'm done. So here I'm done with the last row as well, and once I'm done I'm just going to continue chaining for the tie. So just continue chaining for the tie, and once you're done with this side, you're going to attach your yarn on this corner and repeat it, so you get the right size that you want as well. So just make sure you chain enough to get the right size. We're just going to keep the ties simple. So just continue chaining on this side and then attach your yarn and do the same on this side as well. And if you guys think that your chains are too thin and you want a little thicker tie, then you can just continue doing single crochets across once you're done with the chains. So I'm just going to continue chaining, and once you're satisfied with the length, I'm just going to fasten off and tighten it. So you just insert your hook into the corner and pull up a loop like this, and you just continue chaining. And once you're done, you can just fasten off. If you want to continue doing single crochets, you can just continue crocheting across the row and do single crochets all along. And as you can see, we have our ties over here ready. And this is how our scarf looks in the end. I just have to weave in the ends as well. And this is how it looks. So here we are done.